animal diversity third. In animal diversity third, we have already studied the general characters of a chordate as well as distinguishing feature between non-chordate and chordate. Along with, we have studied the section first protochordata, which include subphylum, hemichordata, urochordata and cephalochordata. Now, after completing the first section protochordata, today we will move to the next section, that is vertebrata. The next section is subphylum vertebrata. These vertebrata, which is also called as craniata, because they are having the specialized bony structure or this cartilaginous structure at the head region, which protect the brain, and that protective covering is called as the cranium. So these sections is vertebrata as well as craniata. Now, in this today's lecture, we are going to discuss the characters of subphylum vertebrata. So, vertebrata itself, it means the individuals which bear the vertebra or vertebral column. The individuals which are having the vertebral column, that is the endoskeleton, which is somewhat hard, stiff and rigid, which give the particular structure to the individual, so that the all body parts can raise with this endoskeleton structure. So this is the sections with highly developed animals. This vertebrata is having highly developed animals, also the somewhat lower developed individuals or somewhat more modified individuals or the animals from protochordata. This vertebrata is again subdivided in two kinds of the sections. One is called as the agnatha and another is called as the gnathostomata. Agnatha means absence of jaws and gnathostomata means the presence of jaws. This agnatha is only having the single living class, which is cyclostomata, and gnathostomata is again broadly divided into 5 different classes: Pisces, amphibians, reptiles, aves and mammals. So all these classification and the different kinds of the classes we are going to deal or discuss in the next lecture. But before going to deal with this vertebrata, we will see the broad characters of the vertebrata. What kinds of the character this vertebrate possess. So let's see the characters of vertebrate. These vertebrates consist the head, neck, trunk and tail. Their body is divided into these 4 main region: head, neck, trunk and tail. So as we have also studied it in protochordate, but in this protochordate not all the protochordates bearing this structure. So this is about the 4 parts of the body in vertebrates. Now these vertebrates are having 2 pairs of limbs. So this is again the modified or somewhat higher characters which are present in vertebrates. These 2 pairs of the limbs or appendages are supported by a skeleton, as I have already told you about the endoskeleton. And this endoskeleton may be this kinds of the having these fins, wings, arms or legs. So these supported skeletons are having fins in case of the Pisces, fishes, wings in case of the aves or the birds, and these arms and legs in case of the terrestrial individuals like the reptiles as well as mammals. Then these vertebrates are having this epidermis, which may produce the scales, feathers, and hairs. The skin is having the two layers, outer epidermis and inner dermis. This outer epidermis, which is the integumentary layer, which produces the scales in case of Pisces as well as reptiles, feathers in case of aves, and hairs in case of mammals. So this is about the epidermal origin, these structures, scales, feathers, and hairs. Then endoskeleton is associated with complex musculature. The endoskeleton, which this endoskeleton which is associated with the complex musculature means the muscles are associated with the endoskeleton. That may be the this axial as well as appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton, which consists of the vertebral column, then cranium, as well as the this girdles, sternum. So these are the endoskeletons which are having the associated muscles for the movement of that this endoskeleton or these bones. Then endoskeleton is made up of cartilage, bones, or both of these. So the endoskeleton, which may be cartilaginous or which may be bony, or both in case of the higher individuals. So that is about the endoskeleton. These individuals are with a large coelom. As I have already told you about the coelom. Coelom is nothing but the body cavity. The cavity which are present into the these individuals are called as the coelomic cavity. Now on the basis of the modification into cavity, the individuals are divided into three categories. Those which are not having body cavity are called as acoelomate. Those with a body cavity are called as the coelomate, and those in which the body cavity is not completely developed, they are called as pseudocoelomate. So these are the in between animals. Basically, all the non-chordates which are generally having acoelomate as well as pseudocoelomate, and from higher non-chordate, from Annelida to upwards in chordate or vertebrate, the body cavity is present. In case of these vertebrates, the body cavity is large. They are having the large body cavity, and generally it is subdivided into two chambers. Anterior chamber is called as this pericardial chambers, and the posterior chamber is called as perivisceral chambers. And what is the function of that body cavity? The body cavity which harbor or inhibits the visceral organs. The visceral organs which are present into the body cavity, along with this body cavity which is having the fluid. That fluid is called as the coelomic fluids, and that fluid absorb the different shocks as well as jerks while in case of different activities by the individuals, and they keep this visceral organ safe from any kinds of the damage or injury. So which are these visceral organ? This visceral organ may be the alimentary canal or digestive glands, these reproductive organs, as well as excretory organs. All these vital organs, these are called as the visceral organs, and which are suspended into this body cavity or coelom. So this is about the body cavity. In this individual, the digestive system is complete, which is having the complete digestive tract or this alimentary canal, start from mouth, ends with the anus, and this digestive tract is ventral to the nerve cord. That digestive tract is ventral to the nerve cord, and this nerve cord is dorsal to the digestive tract or alimentary canal. Then these individuals are having the paired gills and lungs for a respiration. Paired gills are present in lower vertebrate, while the lungs are present in higher vertebrates. Which are the lower vertebrates then? Pisces are the lower vertebrates, and in case of larval forms of amphibians like the tadpole larvae, which are also having the paired gills for respiration. But as the tadpole larva develop into this adult frog, it has the lungs or develop the lungs for respiration. And then remaining classes, reptiles, aves and mammals. These are also having the lungs for respiration. So this is for the exchange of gases. Then the vertebrates are having closed circulatory system. The circulatory system is closed. That means the circulatory fluid, which is a blood, which flow through these closed vessels, which are arteries, veins and capillaries. So through arteries, veins and capillaries, the blood is going to be flow. And this, for the pumping of this blood, there is a heart which may be 2, 3 or 4 chambers. So these are the different chambers or the compartments of the heart in vertebrates. In case of Pisces, they are having 2-chambered heart. In case of amphibian, there is 3-chambered heart. And in case of reptiles, aves and mammals, there is 4-chambered heart. And these kinds of the vertebrates are having a hemoglobin as this respiratory pigments which are present in the circulatory fluid blood, which can carry out the oxygen and providing the oxygen to each and every cell of the body. So these are the vertebrates with the hemoglobin as a respiratory pigment and the circulatory fluid, which is a blood, which is red in color due to the presence of this hemoglobin. So this is about the characters of vertebrates. Erythrocytes. The next character is the brain. In case of vertebrate, the brain is large, highly complex and having 10 or 12 pairs of cranial nerves. The brain, which is large and mostly developed in vertebrate, and it is going to be developed from these primitive vertebrates or lower vertebrate to higher vertebrates. And it is having the 3 different regions: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. And along with the cranial nerves, which is also going to be developed from lower vertebrate to higher vertebrate. Lower vertebrates are having 10 pairs of the cranial nerve, while higher vertebrates, reptiles, aves and mammals, they are having the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. The nerves which are arises from the brain, which are called as the cranial nerves. And nervous system is again having or divided into 3 kinds of the types: central nervous system, which consists of the brain and spinal cord; peripheral nervous system, which includes the nerves which arises from brain as well as spinal cord; and the autonomous nervous system or sympathetic nervous systems, which also includes the nerve arises from the brain or spinal cord, but they control the involuntary activity of the body. So the brain is large and highly developed in vertebrates. Then the next character is the vertebrates are having the pair of very complex sense organ. There are generally 5 sense organs which are highly developed in vertebrates: skin, tongue. Then the pair of complex organs are eyes, ear and nose. And most of the sense organ are gathered or arranged on the cephalic region or head region. Only the skin which presents on the entire body. And these sense organs are complex and highly developed in case of vertebrate. Then the next character is for the removal of nitrogenous waste, that is in excretory system. These vertebrates are having well developed kidneys with urinary bladder in many form. So kidneys are highly developed, and these are generally metanephric kidneys which are highly developed in case of this vertebrate. along with the higher vertebrates are having this urinary bladder. The function of urinary bladder is temporary storage of the nitrogenous waste which has been filtered by the kidneys, and the later on it is going to be removed outside. So that is about the well developed kidneys for removal of nitrogenous waste in vertebrate. The next character is the sexes which are separate. All the vertebrates are having the separate sexes, that is male as well as the female are separate and having the separate reproductive system. Male consists of the male reproductive system while female consists of the female reproductive system, and the gonad are single pair. So that is about the sexes. Then there is a cloaca. Cloaca in many vertebrates again as a common chamber for excretory, for the excretion as well as for the just passing out the this gametes as well as the removal of the this undigested waste as a rectum as well as genital product. So excretory, genital as well as the undigested waste from the alimentary canal are passes from the common opening, and that common opening is called as a cloaca in many of the vertebrates. So that is about the this cloaca which are present in vertebrate. Then these vertebrates are with a definite system of endocrine gland. So that is again the modified characters which is present in vertebrates. They are having highly developed endocrine glands. So what is about these endocrine glands? These are the specialized glands which secrete their secretion, and their secretion is directly mixed into the blood, and it is target specific, and it is not having any kinds of the ducts to convey the secretion. That's why these glands are also called as ductless gland, and their secretion is called as the hormone. So this is about the specialized system which is present in these vertebrates, and along with that it is also having the exocrine glands which are having the ducts to carry their secretion, and it secrete the enzymes basically. So this is about the definite system of this endocrine gland. Their secretion is called as the hormone. Then these kinds of the vertebrates are divided into two sections, or these kinds of the series or these infraphyla. These are, one is Agnatha and the second is Gnathostomata. I have already in the beginning told you about Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Agnatha means those individuals which are not having the jaw, and Gnathostomata means the individuals or the animals with a jaw. So on the basis of jaw there are these two groups, Agnatha and Gnathostomata. So this is the broad classification of vertebrate. So likewise these are the characters of this vertebrata, and hope you understand all these characters. Still you are having any query or the doubt, please feel free to write into the comment box. Thank you.